as the game scales on. I'm keen on seeing if this does pay off here for good old Jabs. Again, a very interesting draft overall. Keen on seeing just how well TA2000 does. This is one of his special heroes, mind you. I believe this is something that you and I have actually watched a couple of times as a pocket pick last time around for TA2000. So I am very curious as to how much he gets out of that lane with a pack rat. And the neutral item being used by everyone can be quite annoying if you get the right neutral. So let's see if you get some luck in that respect as well here for TA2000.
Absolutely. No level 1 team fight looking like it's maybe down at the bottom rune spot, but no. Boom will be able to take it. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade. Neither side really wants to get too dirty too early. And of course, we can have a look at the mid lane. I mean, you're going to have Mac against Arbed. It's going to be the Prophet versus the Pangolier, and this is not going to be very fun for Mac. I mean, he's up against this Greater Treant. He's up against a range hero and the Prophet. It's not the funnest lane here for the Pango.
And it certainly isn't. You do manage to avoid the shortcomings of the opening with NP into the Doom. You're not going to have to worry about the Ironwood Treant being melted. Mac is fairly durable, as long as he can get the shield crash spam going, so it shouldn't be too rough at the very least facing up against this Ironwood Treant. But Abed is going to have superior lane control overall. It's going to be maybe by level 2, level 3, Mac can start to apply a little bit more pressure. It feels like this isn't a bad lane to actually get a value point and lucky shot to try to disarm the Treant when you're chasing in, but it does remove a little bit of your nuking potential in that lane as well.
It does. For that top lane, you're going to see TA2000 and carry against Tims and FBZ. This should be a bit of a quiet lane as well. I mean, FBZ, he can start to get aggressive later on once you hit maybe the level 2, level 3 mark. Does actually end up getting the Chain Lightning from the Harpy Stormcrafter, so wants to have that kind of range magic damage to be able to secure range creeps himself. It's also a very low mana cost, so FBZ can be a little bit annoying with this spell.
He can be. They are both sides getting their pull. It's a little bit better here on the Radiant side for Boom, of course. Going to be able to clear out the creep wave. It's really important to try to slow down the Meepo before he hits his level 3, as with the extra Meepo, the EXP gain is going to be a little bit wild.
Okay, going to be a little bit careful. They do have plenty of burst damage here between FBZ and Tims, but bottom lane is where First Blood has been drawn. DJ going down to Jabs. Looks like Q did set up with the disruption, so it was a nice easy kill for Jabs to secure. And of course this, in fact, Kauri goes down our top lane. So Tim's able to secure a kill for his side. What I was trying to say though, John, this bottom lane for Aurora, they do have that classic Shadow Demon Centaur combination. Just pretty hard to avoid.
And it is. It's been a while since we've seen this actual dual lane come out, but very straightforward like you mentioned. You've got the setup, you've got great nuking damage. Again, with Counter-Strike on for Jabs, there is a lot of burst potential even from the laning phase with the extra damage you have. And of course, with Q playing something like the Shadow Demon, great stacking potential as well. This is something that we know Aurora loves. Boom weren't able to try to get a smoke out to block camps early. So if Q has some room, once Jabs, say, hits level 3, level 4, if no kill opportunity presents itself, you can always just stack up like a maniac, and everyone on Aurora is going to be very happy about that, especially if Boom do not manage to check that. Still, in terms of CS at the very least, Ghost is having a swell enough time. The Alchemist not really the focus of their attention here on Aurora. At the very least, DJ is buying some good spacing, getting Jab's attention away. And as long as Ghost is farming, I think you're still relatively happy here down bot.
Oh, absolutely. Very important for Ghost to get a good start on this Alchemist, because things can get rather terrible rather quickly against the draft of Aurora. You do want to hit that tempo in the mid game here with this Alchemist as best as humanly possible, and we shall see if he can get that early Radiance build up to really start to escalate, as they are jumping in on Ghost now. Ghost will channel up the stun. They are going to move into Q, trying for a kill. Ghost, he'll get the stun off in time. Q in big trouble, still trying to fight with the Shadow Poison stacks, but is going to go down. Jabs now with the chase, looking for a double edge onto Ghost, but is not going to find it. In fact, Ghost, thinking about throwing another stun out onto Jabs, does get it out, but they're not going to dive the tier 1 tower.
Now, already a nice kill to hand over onto Ghost. More than happy in the Alch, of course, to just clean up that way. Going to be accelerating into his phase, Boots and Soul Ring to keep sustaining that farm and the spell spam. You have to be a little bit cautious about your positioning. Q, very smart shards out from DJ to just cut off jabs on his re-engage, looking for a hoof stomp, double edge. Bit of aggression up top here, though.
And Tim's looking to die. He does at least get the Lotus off in time, but the chase is on. TA2000 looking for an ensnare, but does not connect. Rather, an Earthbind does not connect, and well, the Wild Wing Ripper, it does lose vision. So Tim's does barely survive thanks to the healing Lotus he picked up earlier. Meanwhile, FBZ now going to cop a bit of damage on his way out. And this is the stage now where the Ench gets annoying to play against, because you've got level 2 enchant, and sadly for FBZ, he did not have Devour off cooldown.
Still on cooldown for a little bit longer here as well, already using 2 of his charges. You do still get to play the lane, but now TA2000 does hit level 4 with the 2 Meepos up.
Yeah, they're going to move in. Tim's in pretty big danger. Hoof's coming out, and Tim's is gone. He does deny carry the D ward on that large camp, so they aren't going to be able to pull the lane back quite as efficiently as they would have liked to, but it will still cost the life of Tim's.
And it does. Nice little pickup now for the Meepo to get as the level 4 comes in. A little bit more EXP coming in here for TA2000. And this is the point where it can get a little bit annoying to play into the Ench Meepo. As long as you've got a good creep up for Calorie, you'll always have some kill potential coming out into this lane, especially onto Tim's. He doesn't have any way to really bail out from that one once the Bushwhack is expended. A very even laning start so far early on here. A good chase down from Tim's just to stop Cowrie, but he has already managed to get himself a nice tomato creep, and Tim's...
Trouble again, Tim's this time will drop. Is Arbit able to secure the kill with the Wrath of Nature now on the Prophet? So first kill for Arbit here in this game 1.
Middle tower is under attack.
Slowly Aurora starting to heat up. 3rd kill of the game now for their side of things. Looks like the side of Boom, they're going to try and infiltrate the Dire Triangle. Stacks have been made and they will be able to scout all this out. So Mac trying to get those down as top lane. TP's coming in. FBZ's been jumping a nice drinking buddies from DJ. Going to create the space, and now TA2000. He's gone too far. He'll try to find a way out, but this Meepo's out of mana. He can't poof out of there. He's just trapped, and he's gone. FBZ will take the kill with the Chain Lightning. Very quick rotations here from Boom.
And it is great read from that deep dive coming out from TA2000. Good punishment out from Boom. And again, seeing the effect of drinking buddies, that repositional play, just can make it quite annoying when you are committing that hard. Abed does manage to get the space to clear out mid. A very nice solo push from himself with the Ironwood Treants, of course. And that is a cause of concern now for the side of Boom. They don't have a nice TP point to set up your smokes to rush into the triangle a little bit faster. Still no one really checking the triangle as well. I do believe we had DJ walk up, so they are aware of the stacks, but it doesn't look like they're going to be comfy in trying to clearing out some ancient stacks here, at least not just yet. Still, tree to tree, you are getting fairly free farm on Ghost. Hasn't died, hasn't really been contested too hard here by Jabs and Q, and is already starting to play in that jungle. And I like this movement from Boom. They're all just scouting TA2000 again.
They are. They found one Meepo. Snowball's going to be out onto TA2000. He's got Poof up in a few seconds, but they'll just pop Stampede instead. Jab's just allowing TA2000 an escape route out of that scenario. Mind you, I don't think they would have gotten the kill anyway, to be fair, because it was just DJ and Tim's. And speaking of the two, they are going to rotate back down towards the bottom lane now through the Twin Gates. But it seems as though Aurora are very well aware that they're coming.
Pull back, play it safe. They know they don't see anyone pushing up top anymore, so they know the gate usage was there. They could set up for their own play here. We have our 2 supports down, but Q will walk away. Only Cowrie committing now with his Warpine Raider. Still trying to kill off Ghost at this point with Chemical Rage at the ready. Not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And they are doing a great job on Boom, just holding onto their tier 1 as well. The siege up top is still going relatively slow.
They'll get it done eventually. Ghost starting to work towards that Radiance we just spoke about. In fact, he's going to join his team at that top tier 1 tower. So they're kind of hoping somebody comes to defend here from Aurora, but of course Aurora, they are going to just sit back and let the tier 1 go down. They can always just trade tier 1, so it's no real problem here. Ghost, again, back towards the Radiance farm that he's looking for. TA2000 going for the Diffusal Blade build-up. Ghost, I mean, at least for now, like, for Boom's sake, again, the Alchemist farm is going to be very, very relevant this game. Like, it's so important Ghost hits all the timings he needs to. Because this Meepo is going to get out of control at some stage, and of course you've still got Abed to worry about on the Prophet to boot. But for now, again, Boom, they're making the space happen.
They are. And the one thing hurting for Boom is that mid-tier 1 difference. Just securing, anchoring, really, the triangle of Aurora a little bit better and making movements into the middle part of the top jungle a little bit harder to do from the mid lane. Still, for Boom's part, their own triangle is secured. They haven't been able to stack up as much in comparison to Aurora, but they will build some Ancients up now. Aurora still working into some good timings. Maelstrom for Abed not too far off. That Diffusal, only the recipe lacking now on TA2000 as well. And you've got Jabs going straight up for the Auras, opting for a Crimson Guard first here to block off a lot of the physical being pumped out by Mac and potentially by Ghost later on. That is one concern here for Boom. If they don't manage to get the jump they'd want, if the saves are at the back, like say Q's around, with its disruption, Stampede comes off afterwards, the kill isn't going to be coming out for Boom. They need to go for a quick burst plays somehow. Once they are ready to start hunting a little bit more aggressively. Their ward should be able to spot TA2000. They should know the Meepo is again hanging up top, but they just don't have the numbers for that.
Kaori trying to be a little bit cheeky here with Tims. Abed's going to TP in. Tims with a nice sharpshooter back to the low ground. Does avoid Abed, but the Stampede is incoming. TA2000 even going to show up, and now FBZ. FBZ gets caught with his pants down. Tims may make it out, but they got the vision from Q. Disruption will be there in time. Tims is not making it either. The Shadow Poison stacks will be enough from Q. Very nice rotations here from Aurora. That is the thing with their draft. They can get to you very, very quickly.
They can. Teleportation on the NP, Stampede on top. Again, if you don't manage to go for burst plays, you're likely not finding anything here.
Oh, they might find Abed though, John. And Abed's been left. Kaori, understanding he cannot help, will just leave the area, but DJ and the crew are looking to see if they can get a consolation prize on top. They'll see Kaori. They've got no way of slowing him down. You already got the bigger target anyway, though. You'll be happy.
Yep. It also comes down to timing from Aurora. Like, once you know Stampede's committed, that's your opening on Boom. It does cost them 2 heroes to open up in that one, but they do manage to slow down the Nature's Prophet and his build-up into the Gleipnir for additional control. And, again, you're buying so much space out for Ghost. Joins in a little bit in that fight, but already has a Sacred Relic up. Not too far off from the full Radiance now on our Alchemist when the farm really escalates up and activity starts to kick in. FBZ as well does have the Midas flying out, can just buy and sell into the Dagger and look for some plays with a Doom. Triangle stacks have been cleared out by Aurora. They do get their net worth injection right then, and the Crimson Guard from Jabs isn't too far off now, just a recipe left, about 200 gold. Still, we'll see Boom try to go out with a smoke. They've got the blink on Mac. Can try to look for someone to burst down. Stampede is off cooldown though for Jabs, just needs a little bit of mana. So it might not be the easiest kill to try to find here.
They will miss out on the kills altogether. Q will leave. Abed's farming the Ancients on the right side of the map, so he's going to be okay. They could go through the Twin Gates and see if they can hunt TA2000, and it seems like that's what they're going to try to do. But TA, probably just reading the movement here, it's pretty obvious they'll use the Twin Gates. TA2000 just goes back to the other side of the map and just goes back to safety. He has started working on towards that Aghanim Scepter here on the Meepo to boot, so you're going to have the Mega Meepo coming out maybe 3 to 4 minutes if he's left uncontested. And that's going to be pretty concerning, because we know how hard that Mega Meepo is to deal with.
It is. It's going to be a nice early spike for Aurora to keep that tempo up on their game. Maybe start to look for activity. Again, you're lining up for the Auras already on Jabs. I believe the Crimson Guard is already flying out here. Gleipnir not too far as well for Abed, already flying in. So you are set to go. Good timely smoke for Aurora. Just need to see if they can get the jump here.
He's very far forward here, FBZ. He'll get the Doom off in time. On to Jabs. FBZ actually still surviving, tanking through all the damage output. Q is still trying to get some Shadow Poisons on him. He'll get a disruption off. Still chipping away, but FBZ will be alright.
Comes out alive, but he did have to pop Doom on jabs, just to ensure the Hoof Stomp would come in with a Counter-Strike double edge. And that is costly. That's a big cooldown down now for Boom. That means it's going to be, again, a little bit harder maybe to look for this TA2000 kill. And you're going to be free to still Stampede here on jabs. And you get space out for Aurora instead. With a mid-tier 1 gone, they can invade that jungle down bot. They are getting some blockages off already very early on here. Inside of Boom, well, they're working up still on Ghost. Radiant's up, going for the BKB rush, will be active after that point. DJ, not going to be able to get the snowball, unfortunately. Might be stuck in a really ugly spot here.
Looks like it. DJ, I mean, he's got help from Mac. FBZ's around the corner as well. They are going to move in. Rolling Thunder was out from Mac, but Stampede was already committed by jabs, and of course they are just going to retreat. In fact, in the meantime, Tim's is the one to go down. Q once again finding a very cheeky pickoff completely on his own. Meanwhile, though, Arbit taking a lot of damage from Mac, trying for the TP, but he's not going to make it. DJ tried to save with the snowball, but it was not enough, as now Jab's moving in once again, looking for some more. Has a hoof stomp in one, but he just cannot close the gap, so they will just have to accept the Mac kill. But that is still a very good kill to find. And with that, Aurora, they'll be happy with their 2 kills.
Yeah, and again, you're seeing some of that global play come out here. Abed joining in on Q mid to bully out Tims. They've got a good forward ward as well to check if any defenders are hanging behind a creep wave. Managed to get a nice, easy snipe. And the issues for Boom, again, if Stampede is still up on jabs, you just don't have that chase and hold potential here for the side of Boom Esports. And for Aurora, their hit and run is just so damn strong. So much space being given out. TA2000, Ags just about 400 gold away. Mega Meepo is going to be coming out soon. And it doesn't feel like you have the tools just yet on Boom to even consider a burst on the tanky Mega Meepo at this point in the game. You're going to need a lot more farm coming out. You need some well-timed dooms coming in from FBZ. And even then, that's not a guarantee if you don't doom the main Meepo before the Mega Meepo flies on. Stampede is down and Doom is back up if Boom do want to try to hunt. Again, they don't really have the best forward vision here on the map, so they can't really scout out for these kills.
No, they cannot. There's the Aghanim Scepter now on TA2000. It really does start to feel like Aurora's having the game to go their way. Like, Ghost is still farming freely, but he really isn't escalating that as fast as you'd like to see. And at some stage, maybe once the BKB's up, he'll start to move with his team, but Aurora, it really does start to feel like their game. Like, this is exactly what they love doing. They love a slow-paced game where they can just farm up on all their cores, and that's exactly what they're getting.
That they are. And again, the scaling potential here from Aurora is pretty well balanced, you know. The End Nature's Prophet can scale quite nicely. You don't have a straightforward counter action here from Boom. On paper, perhaps breaking trees with Rolling Thunder could be one way, but you are focused on trying to get chain stuns rather than clearing out the bonus damage of the NP. Lots of pressure in FBZ to land these dooms. We'll go for the smoke play out now on the side of Boom Esports. Need to find a catch.
I mean, you'd love to find this Meepo. Keep in mind, again, the Mega Meepo is available. DJ's going to wrap around. Shards will give the vision. They'll jump on one. Stampede has been popped. The stun will connect here from Ghost. TA2000 still surviving. There's your Mega Meepo now, and he's perfectly fine. So they'll turn back onto DJ. And it seems like DJ will die. Meanwhile, Ghost will try to run out as Carry just does so much damage on this Ench. But he'll be okay to back off. They will only sacrifice DJ. But they do find out the hard way that TA2000 has the Ags available.
And he does. They do have to pop Stampede, but level 2, it's not quite the longest cooldown. Just a minute of a window here for Boom, and they're not ready to re-engage. So they're not going to be able to capitalize off of Stampede being popped. A great Ags reveal coming out here for TA2000. They do manage to hold on to the Doom from FBZ, but again, your kill opportunity just isn't lining up for Boom Esports. And Aurora, maintaining that 4K lead early on, are hitting their stride. About to hit a pipe up on jabs, blocking off even more damage coming in here from the side of Boom Esports. I just don't know how you rectify that damage issue. Carry?
Gary. Let's get caught. Should be a nice easy kill here for Tim, so a nice little pickup. It could lead to a Roshan. Now, they've got 30 seconds without the Ench. They could consider thinking about Roshan. It won't be the fastest attempt we've ever seen, but it might just be worth trying. But they will not. They'll hunt Arbed instead. Down at the bottom lane, Tim's is going, looking for this Nature's Prophet. Arbed, though, realizing that they are probably on their way, will be able to retreat just fine.
Again, just no opportunities being presented by Aurora. Cowrie as a sacrifice. We've seen Enchantresses do this multiple times. It's not really a meaningful kill. It is a little bit of a farm accelerant for sure, especially in trying to get Tim's online with some of his own utility with a 4-staff coming out, but still a ways off from any of those coming in here for the side of Boom. Aurora, again, very much happy to just play a very safe and secure game, just scale up, get the free Tormentor for themselves here, just TA2000 and himself by his lonesome. Engine cleared that all out. The Disperser here for our Meepo not too far off now. And then you're really just going to have issues in jumping this Meepo. It's going to have a lot of damage to dish back in. The inhibit, it's going to be really annoying for you to try to keep a chase up. And again, that full pipe for jabs with a Crimson Guard is all done. They're going to try to force this one out on Aurora and Boom.
They will. TA2000 going to be the first one spotted here, I think. Problem is Aurora smoke right behind him, but they're going to try and make the jump in. TA, he's going to look for the poof. The stun is out, goes to catch him midway. Rolling Thunder out as well, but the Mega Meepo does come in clutch. They're going on to FBZ now. FBZ needs some help, but DJ is there with the drinking buddies. It's complete chaos down at the bottom lane, and nobody's dead yet. They committed the doom onto the Meepo, but TA2000 still perfectly fine, as Tim's will be the first one to go down. DJ being chased here by Jabs will also get caught. It's Boom Esports. They'll get everyone else out of there. But both supports will die. And again, this Ags Meepo, man, it's causing too many problems.
And it is. And you just don't have enough damage. Like, there's no output on Ghost to melt through even one of the Meepos on hand. The TA2000 is just so smart with his Meepo usage as well, only putting the clones forward, always having the main Meepo far away from the fights to just poof it in, and always get the Mega Meepo off to bail himself out of a sticky situation. Roshan to be taken by Aurora, and will have a secondary life to hand over onto TA2000 if he so wishes, and does look like he does. Takes the Aegis for himself. Boom. I'm not sure where this fix for damage is going to have to come in. Like, Ghost is already pretty set up, going for the Assault Cuirass next. A little bit more minus armor and attack speed to play with can be nice. It's just not, it's really just not burst damage. There's just no way you 100-0 one of these cloned Meepos, and if you don't find the main Meepo and doom him before Mega Meepo comes in, man, it's just not going to happen. With the auras backing up here from Jabs, I do not see that solution coming in. They have to try to split Aurora apart, get some forward vision to find some stragglers. It's the only way you kind of start to pick Aurora off one by one and hope for a way to equalize this game just a little bit more.
Now the Radiant Triangle is going to be infiltrated by Aurora. TA2000 sees DJ, throws the Earthbind out and does catch him, and well, poor old DJ just has no help. They're coming in slowly, but can they actually deal with the Meepo? They're going to try. A nice pushback catches out 3 of them, but the Mega Meepo is there once again. Here comes FBZ, but the Doom's on cooldown for 5 seconds. They need more time, but they've got the Meepo under control. Keep in mind, he does have an Aegis. He will back his way out with the Aegis intact. So nothing is lost here for Aurora.
Yep. Just get to reset. See all the big saves coming out from Q at the last second. The Disseminate with a Promulgate, just a little bit more HP on an already high HP Mega Meepo. The Burst Play is just near impossible. And that was TA2000 all by himself for at least a good 10 seconds. Just not enough for Boom to even hope to find that kill.
Tower is under attack.
This Mega Meepo is just obnoxious. Mind you, granted, TA2000 isn't really dishing out the damage, as we saw DJ managing to still get away with the drinking buddies once the root did fade off. But the damage is coming in from Abed anyhow, and Cowrie at this point. Like, your output, your main DPS is going to be your Nature's Prophet, to an extent, your Centaur as well. Again, going for Counter-Strike with Double Edge does feel good. And all the Meepo has to do is actually really just take all the attention away. Like, you are not going to be dying. He's going for more stats now as well, Mikey. I have Scotty coming in for TA2000 next. When the Mega Meepo flies on, you're really just not killing this guy for the next, what, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know if you'll even kill him after that, unless you isolate him and leave him for last.
I don't think so either, John. It does feel like TA2000 is feeling a bit too comfortable here in this Meepo in Game 1. We'll see a smoke out. Aurora, they'll go as 3. In fact, they'll connect with Okari, who's trying to bait in the mid lane. He'll get smoked up to boot. FBZ, realizing they are around, does back off, but TA2000 is still hunting. And instead, he might just start on the mid-tier 2 tower.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, like we've seen this over and over again with TA2000. When on heroes like this, he just doesn't really care. He knows how to stretch the limit of the hero, and well, with an Ags, or rather Aegis up, it's going to be pretty hard to kill him twice. I think you are literally just stuck waiting for the Aegis to expire now for Boom.
And even then, I just don't know if you have enough. We've seen that Mega Meepo fly on so many times. They're trying to chain stun, trying to isolate the main Meepo. It's just not enough. You don't really have the biggest damage output on Mac either. FBZ, Doom is still single target. You have the full Assault, Curious, and Ghost going for a Bloodthorn. The Orchid alone might be helpful enough. Again, you have to identify the main Meepo, which is a little bit challenging in the middle of a firefight, but if you can commit, say, an Orchid or Bloodthorn onto the main before Mega Meepo.
FBZ in no man's land. Q just chucked out a random Shadow Poison to see if anyone was farming, and he will find somebody very important. FBZ down for 40 seconds now as they're tipping right back to the Radiant Triangle. TA2000 with the Earthbind, not catching anyone yet, but he's still looking. But it seems like he will give up on the chase. But they are just dominating the map now. Like, Ghost, he is still finding farm on the Arc, but it's not anywhere near the pace you need to see it at. And quite frankly, I think we both agree the timings have already been missed. Yeah, just hard to imagine this Alchemist being able to deal with TA2000 at all. I mean, we'll see if it ever comes to the point where he can, but it's looking rather impossible.
And it is. I mean, TA2000's already just working to the last part of his Scotty. And then, legitimately, I do not know how you kill this Meepo. When Mega Meepo flies on with 4 Meepos on hand. It's just way too much stats. Like, it's way too efficient. And it's just too much. I'm still surprised. You know, in a good Meepo game, it just does way too much. Mind you, if this game does drag beyond once this Meepo is fully slotted up, there are some opportunities, but that does require farm on your supports a little bit more here as well, and maybe something like a refresh or Ags up on FBZ to try to get some value from the deal. I think that's your solutions here. The issue is... Oh,
he's got his team behind him, but Q's looking to set up. They'll start with the enchant on Kaori, stun him from Jabs, drinking buddies from DJ onto Ghost, who will pop the Chemical Rage now, but the Stampede has been committed, so Jabs can disengage with the rest of his side as now Arbed forced him off the BKB before FBZ gets the Doom off, looking to move in for a little bit more while the BKB is still active, but they do back up. So Boom Esports, at the very least, force a BKB and a Stampede. But that's about it. I don't think it's going to make enough difference yet.
Not just yet. Chemical Rage about to fade for Ghost, so he's not going to be showing in front line. Aurora straight TPs into the outpost once again. Get some D-wards going. And just reposition for another engagement if they can find it. Confidence from Aurora. It's for good reason. 11k lead. Boom. They still have this Doom up on FBZ. They are going around with a smoke, but you have to be really smart about this one.
Well, TA2000 is going to be the man closest to them, but they do not want to jump the Meepo first. Or do they? Ghost, he's moving in. They want to try. Stuns are out. Can they find the real Meepo? They're moving in once again. TA2000 just taking no damages now. Ghost is completely surrounded. Ghost, he'll pop his BKB and run, but it's not looking good for him. He'll make it out for now. Meanwhile, the Doom committed onto Jabs, but it's also they can retreat. And Max caught anyway.
Radiant's middle
It's just,
tower is under attack.
it's kind of a half-hearted attempt at taking TA2000's life, and yeah, it definitely won't work out if you're not fully committed.
Is under attack.
No, it certainly does not.
Radiant
I'm surprised they
structures
still
are
tried to
fortified.
jump TA2000 anyway. Even these clones just have way too much HP, and when you do manage to get into the fight up against TA2000, with Scotty, you're not regenning much at all
Radiant's top tower
on
is
Ghost.
fallen.
High ground siege begins. Oh,
Jabs will miss out on the stun, a nice blink away. FBZ, though, has not missed out quite yet. He's been earthbinded up and just trapped up. They'll try to save FBZ. He'll barely make it out with his BKB intact.
Radiant's top barracks
But
is
the
fallen.
melee barracks do go down, and Aurora, as we all know, will play it very safely and retreat.
Don't be mad. Just not
just
fair.
head back, retake control of the triangle, set their base of operations here, keep that build up. There's no threat from Boom. There really just is no threat right now from Boom Esports. No damage. Control is somewhat there, but it's just not long enough. Really get burst plays onto literally anyone at this point. And Aurora, they can try again. They are smoked up here.
They're narrowly going to miss out on FBZ, but they have found Mac instead. Well, they haven't found Mac. He does retreat successfully.
Are scanning. Radiant's top barracks are under
Nice
attack.
little smoke break from DJ right while he was standing by his wards. And that does allow Boom to back off, but it's not a big loss from Aurora anyhow. Their net worth lead is just growing even while they're trying to find these gank attempts. They are allowing TA2000 and Abed to just farm up freely. You've got the Swift Blink coming up next for TA2000, so Meepo is just going to be terrifying to actually play into. Boom Esports try out with their own smoke. Yeah, you don't even have a full Orchid up yet in Ghost.
Radiant
It's just,
are scanning.
I know, maybe you can kill Q here.
They're going to try. Q, though, blinks away casually. Stun will land, but here come the TPs into that mid-tier 1 tower, and they've got to run. They have got to run. Gleipnir is out from Arbed. It'll catch 2 targets. That's going to be DJ down, and now the Earthbind catching out Ghost. He'll try for the BKB TP play out, and does make it.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
But it just shows how badly this game's gone for Boom. Like, they haven't even found the mid-tier 1 tower. It still gives them the TP rotation for Aurora, and yeah, they just don't have a chance to fight anywhere. Because it feels like Aurora can be there at any second.
That they can be. Boom. Again, I appreciate them trying to take these fights outside of their high ground, but you really have nothing to play with. Like, I figured maybe you had a full Orchid on Ghost, but again, even that item's still a bit far out here for Alk. And Ghost is already behind the net worth in comparison to Abed and TA2000. So the entire point of this pickup is just nullified. You don't even have the net worth advantage at this point in the game. 20k lead standing for Aurora. Boom. Just struggling to find anything. And Aurora, very calculated, very smart gameplay. Just holding around. Even if they present themselves like this on jabs, can you really kill off a Centaur with Pipe Crimson guard up, Stampede in a few seconds? Likely no. You just can't.
Likely no indeed. Aurora will continue just hanging around this bottom lane, slowly keeping that creep wave pushed in and thinking about going high ground again. Because Roshan is up in 15 seconds, and TA2000 is just going to leave Amiibo casually sitting there as they do find Tims. So you could just go straight for high ground right now, but they will see Roshan in 5 seconds thanks to TA2000's Meepo. So chances are they're just going to wait for the Roshan instead. And with Tims down, it's basically just guaranteed. If it wasn't already.
Yeah, I would say this game is pretty guaranteed for Aurora anyhow.
Yeah.
So far. It's a little bit unfortunate for Boom. Again, that's why I'm really not a big fan of the Alchemist. It just doesn't do enough up against what you have here on Aurora. Arguably, no real cores left. Again, very smart bans from Aurora. They take the Aegis. They're going to be rotating up. They're already setting up the top here.
There goes Jabs. He'll find Ghost. He'll force another BKB usage out of him. Meanwhile, Abed just takes down Mac very, very quickly. Mac's down 50 seconds without buyback available. And your Alchemist doesn't have a BKB ready to go. So, I mean, You can basically go Megas right now.
Has been killed.
Even if Mac respawns, it's like, who cares?
Radiant's middle tower is under
Certainly
attack.
not TA2000. Just can just get started in that siege. Nice slow pokes, dropping these side meepos down, but
Middle barracks are under
really
attack.
does not matter in the grand scheme of things here for TA2000. Boom.
Radiant's middle barracks.
It almost feels like they have to maybe prioritize
Radiant's
Ghost tier a
bottom
little bit
tower
earlier.
is under attack.
I don't know if they can afford to do that though. They will smoke up.
Radiant's
One last fight here.
are fortified.
I'm gonna try. This is an elimination game after all, the lower bracket final. Even an Ag's now up on Q, so you've got even more problems coming in as they do try to jump him, but he just blinks away. And now Ghost stuns himself. Oh boy, it just doesn't get worse than this. TA2000 is gonna find him. Ghost is down. They call it. And I appreciate that they really just wanted to try and burst out of support, get rid of Q immediately, but Q just reacts too fast and blinks away, and the Ghost just ends up stunning himself for the side of Aurora.